everyone. Today I'm going to be doing for you all a case study around Northern Boulevard today here in Auburndale between Francis Lewis Boulevard and the Clearview Expressway. Later on this afternoon around 3 o'clock I'm going to strictly keep our attention to the intersection of Francis and Northern Boulevard because lately the traffic in this area just seems to keep getting worse and worse and worse. Just now, about a minute ago, literally just happened a minute ago, traffic was piled up right by 202nd Street. So I'm gonna be walking the subway because change of pace for dessert today. So yeah, later on we're gonna focus on, again, Northern and Francis Lewis Boulevard because there desperately needs to be a case study in this area. I get disgusted wondering, well, no one really cares that we desperately need it here. Don't get me wrong, I'm happy that MTA Prodigy went to Jamaica, which he did a good job covering it, even though somebody had foolish antics on that day. But there's no foolish antics happening today. We're taking this very seriously because I wish somebody would just realize that traffic here is getting worse. And I'm not even going to talk about quality of life today. I mean, it is a part of our quality of life, but I'll mention something about this intersection. So we're here at 202nd Street and Northern Boulevard. So first of all, this is a very long traffic light. I'm probably going to cross the Clearview Expressway later on when I get back from Subway. But this light, and I'll show you for a second. So we're going to cross here. Now, watch what happens when the light changes. Because this is a very short light. So we're going to cross. Thankfully, I'm lucky this light's staying green today, but normally it changes very quickly. So we're gonna see, it already changes. Not even 30 seconds. Not even 30 seconds. Which, all right, fine. You may say to yourself, well, should the traffic move on Northern Boulevard? Well, yes, it should. But then here's the problem. There's already a pileup of traffic right by the Clearview Expressway. So, honestly, I'm going to say right now, if I were to rate the traffic in this area in general, I would at least have to give it a 4 out of 10. Now, I'm giving it that number because later on, you'll see that number degrade once 3 o'clock in the afternoon comes. Because once 3 o'clock in the afternoon happens, I'm telling you right now, westbound gets to be a whole lot worse. Now, in Kevin's video that he did in Jamaica, he of course talked about the buses. Well, let's talk about the buses. So, in this area, we're served by, well, specifically in this stretch, the Q12 and the Q13. At Francis Lewis Boulevard, we're served by, what is it, right, the Q76, because I'm trying to walk. Yeah, I'll probably wait for the next light because I'm not really in a rush. That way we can at least serve traffic. Now here comes the Q13 right now. And last week I'll mention I did a special 8-minute video showcasing the brand new buses with the accordions along the Q12 route. Which, as I said, I'm glad they're here. Speaking of the devil, here it comes. I also want to mention that one of my viewers has mentioned, he can comment this, they also have the stretch accordions along Brooklyn as well. I don't remember the exact route, but yeah, if no one's coming, I might as well just go. I mean, this street's abandoned anyway. I mean, honestly, no one's coming. I might as well just go. I might do the same after, even though I may have to cross here because I do have to get back to Osnum, get back into work. So once again, you'll see here Clearview Expressway, it's already building the traffic. So, what also makes it worse is that you have a UPS truck that's blocking the right lane. And mind you, there's supposed to be 4 lanes of traffic here. And here's the problem. This Mini can't get into the lane because the Toyota should have yielded. That's the problem. Sometimes people just don't have common sense behind the wheel. I mean, I would look behind me and let that guy come into my lane. Yeah, I bet the UPS guy's making a delivery in the AT&T thing in the vitamin area. So normally when you get past the Clearview, it does let up. That's the best thing I can say right here. But over the years, Star Toyota, hey, look at that, we got Orion. Odd cameo from the Queens Village bus depot right now. I'm wondering, why are they making Orion? Are they on their way to fill, oh, I'm thinking they're probably on their way to fill the Q46 right now. Or the 43. Wait a minute, I just realized something. The 43 doesn't get filled by Orion 7 old gens. This is an old gen, so it's probably going to be the 46. Or maybe they're on their way to Cambria to fill the 27, or they're on their way to Queens Village to fill the 88. That's a couple possibilities, because again, that's what you get with Orion 7s. I also mentioned, and we're going to stay on topic, Star Toyota. Now, the neighbors in this area have complained that they park the show cars along the streets. And that's very disrespectful to the residents in this area, number one. And I'll also mention, sometimes here at the Clearview Expressway, right along the northbound area, a couple things have happened in the past. One, I've seen people cut each other off because they're new in the area and they can't figure out the lanes around here. And then two, what also makes it worse is that I'm actually seeing vagrants panhandle around here. So I have noticed that in the past. I figured, you know what? Let's pause for a second and show you the Clearview Expressway. And I'll get right into, look at that now. It just changed immediately, 4, 3, 2, 1. Again, I've had to walk this bridge before. I've had to. So over here, you can see the Clearview Expressway. There's south, and then there's north. Now, quickly want to mention, south goes all the way to Hillside Abbey in Jamaica. North goes all the way to the Bronx Neck Bridge. It takes you right into the Bronx. And me and my folks always use that bridge when we leave New York anyway. We don't go out of our way just to use the Triborough. That's a long schlep. Especially how we have places in North Jersey we like to grab a bite to eat before we head further south. So, yeah. Thankfully the light's changing. So again, I'm going to head to Subway in just a matter of moments, and then I'm going to put the camera down for a while because, again, we will do our case study later this afternoon at proper one at Northern Francis Lewis Boulevard to show you again what a typical 3 o'clock on a Monday afternoon looks like. So, that being all said, stay tuned for more. Alright, so it's pretty much 3 minutes before 3 o'clock, and we're now going to observe what a typical afternoon is like here at Northern and Francis Lewis Boulevard. So I gave you an idea of the area earlier, you know, what to expect when we do the case study. So quickly want to mention this is an auto repair shop, and we'll be going right by the bus stop to get an idea of just, you know, what's here. You already see here, we already have a pileup of everybody trying to make a left turn here. Now, I've mentioned before that this area is not safe for pedestrians. I'll get into the reason in just a second. Meanwhile, look at this. Nice cameo from the Q12 right here. I still get worried about the spike. It's been here for a year now. So, right now, there's a left turn light that just went off. Here's another left turn light. This is southbound on Francis Lewis. And you have northbound on Francis Lewis. And then you have another left turn lane. Now, here's the issue. People are supposed to wait for the left turn light. The problem is, people get so impatient in this area that they just want to ignore the light. That's why in most cases pedestrians do get run over in this area. So, here's a lady right now. She's trying to make it because the light's going to change any minute. And sometimes they'll even... And here's the problem. The left turn light just went off. And sometimes it's so hard to see the light when it changes green that, you know, people get impatient. And look at this. Now this left turn lane's gonna pile up. Because remember, this is rush hour. Rush hour in this area always starts around 3 o'clock. So, again, this gives you an idea of what a normal Monday afternoon's like here. So, once again, it always seems that the left turn lane gets piled up. And again, here goes the Q12. Oh, Q13 right now, okay. So the Q12 just left. By the way, I saw the window open on that bus. I hope that bus has air conditioning. And here's the Q76. And I know for a fact if you walk down Francis Lewis, you can get the Q31 and the Q27. Down there, if you walk to 32nd Avenue, that's the other point to get to Q31. See? This is why I always worry about being in this area. If you're a pedestrian, you're dead meat here. You are literally dead meat. So right now we have a lady crossing the street with her baby in the carriage right now. And now she has to wait. And look at that. What around here. That's another problem, folks. Noise pollution. As I said, you know, standing here, I don't know. I mean, some maniac could just come right by here. So again, left turn lane, and look how piled up the traffic is in the left turn lane. So it seems right now, eastbound is where the traffic is piling up. Because remember, people are coming home right now. And what makes this, you know, completely unsafe is that the lady is now crossing the street and the Range Rover could literally just hit her right now. And here we go again, more people ignoring the left turn light. So let's see what happens here. Now, you may be wondering, like I said earlier, why are you giving this area a 4 out of 10? Well, in the early morning hours, it's nothing like this. 11 o'clock in the morning, it's fine. But once you get to 3 p.m., this is what can happen. Yep. That lady was in the wrong. She didn't have the light. And look. Whoa! Folks, almost just got an accident on tape. See that? I'm gonna be honest, folks. It's bad enough in Jamaica we have people crossing the intersection of Parsons and Jamaica Avenue when they're not supposed to. especially when I've been on the buses with the Q30, Q31. But let me tell you, I think this is completely worse than Jamaica. I honestly think this traffic right here has to be 10 times worse than what goes on in Jamaica on a normal weekday. And Jamaica's nothing compared to this. At least in Jamaica, they have a bus lane. Here, we don't even have a bus lane. Which, here's the problem if you put a bus lane here. You put a bus lane here, and that causes a conflict of interest. So many residents will probably complain that the bus lane's not a good idea, which I happen to agree with them. And the other problem is, why are these cars parked here? That's supposed to be a third lane of traffic. I don't even know if the cars are allowed to even park in front of TD Bank. You know, it also makes this worrisome area because, again, remember, you have Osnum where I work. So imagine somebody's here in a wheelchair, they're crossing the street, and they can't. And once again, remember, you have people who just ignore the light. So that's what makes this whole thing worse. See, this is why I always go with the light here. Because you always a dead meat around here. It always can be. So again, let's observe this again. I also want to mention Q76 can get overcrowded this time of the day, especially when school is in session. And here's the problem. Once again, when you're in the intersection, it's very difficult to see this left turn light. So what happens is, you have many people who are trying to make the left turn, and they just can't. So I'm going to give it one more whirl around, and then we're going to take a look around the Clearview Expressway, because honestly, this definitely needs to be observed more from a different intersection. I just took my thumbnail for the area, so at least, you know, there'll be a proper thumbnail later on in this video. So I'm thinking I'll move to the Clearview Expressway probably when the left turn light goes. So I'll walk down there, and then I gotta walk back here anyway to get my ride later on. So, by the way, another cameo from the Q12 accordion. Hey, look at that. Nice Bus makes a cameo too. Oh my god, that's disgusting. By the way, I'm not saying Nice Bus in the child way anymore. I've been getting a lot of complaints that, you know, why are you saying Nice Bus that way? Well, I happen to agree with my critics, so you guys won. So again, this is what I mean. People are just ignoring the left turn light because they're just impatient. So right now, you literally got 3 vehicles ignoring the left turn light right now. Oh, it must have changed, but I don't know. And that guy better get going, because if he doesn't turn, he's blocking the box. You can't do that. And by the way, I want to mention, I believe there is a red light camera around here. Yeah, right up there. So I don't know if the red light camera would catch somebody blocking the intersection. Then that causes a conflict right there. So just one more time, just to see what's going on here, because I want to see how far this stretches to Clearview. So I'll make my way there in just a second. But it's only about a 10-minute walk back that way, heading east. So, like I said, I'll probably head back that way. Now the good thing is, and I'll mention this, the light actually goes down from 30 seconds. That's not too bad, but I wish the 188th Street, 73rd Avenue would be the same way when people, you know, have to go that way. So, yeah, I think one more time would definitely be appropriate, because right now, here comes the left turn light. There we go. Left turn light. And look, that GMC couldn't even make the left turn light. So now he has to wait another minute, which the average wait time for this light, and I've timed it with my dad, it's normally about 1 minute and 30 seconds to wait for the left turn light. Now, sometimes 2 minutes in most cases. And that causes a conflict of interest. I will mention that I think U-turns are not allowed here. I don't know if that's correct or not. I know from that way it's not legal. So here we go again. One last time, I promised, and we're going to head right to the Clearview Expressway. And look at this. That Volkswagen was too scared to inch up. If he had inched up and floored it, he would have made the light. That's the problem. People are so afraid to inch up that they'll miss the light on purpose. I don't know why people are just afraid to inch up, you know? So, I think with that, we're going to move to the Clearview Expressway and observe what's going on down there. So now we're making our way towards the Clearview Expressway right now. And here's the point I was trying to prove, is that this is where the traffic will build up heading eastbound. Here comes westbound. And look how far back this traffic piles up to. It's just craziness. Again, Star Toyota's right here. So I put the camera down for a second because my dad actually just called me to let me know that he's on his way to pick me up. So, here is the problem right now, folks. This is the service road of the Clearview Expressway. And what's going on right now is, this is what it's normally like at 3 o'clock in the afternoon when you have people coming home. Now, there might be people coming home from Manhattan, might be people coming in from the Bronx even, and you have people even coming in from Westchester. Now, down there, I could definitely see it from here. The Clearview is packed right now. The Clearview Expressway is packed. So we're going to try to get a view of it right now and show you just what's going on, because again, this is what it's normally like. And the worst part is, when people are trying to make the left turn, then it becomes very difficult. So let's take a look and see how bad the traffic is heading southbound and get an idea. So you can't really see it from here. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to cross the street over here, because there's no crosswalk, which I can understand why they don't have a crosswalk, because remember, you have 2 left turn lanes here. It's very overwhelming for a pedestrian. So, from that angle, I think we can get a better view of just what's going on. Then we can definitely observe the traffic. Now, what makes this an interesting situation is this light stays green very long. And what happens is the drivers may have to spend maybe a minute or 2 just to wait for a green light. Which, again, I really wish the DOT would look into changing the signal, because this is completely ridiculous. You know, I really do feel bad for all these people who are just trying to avoid traffic, that people are merging onto the LIE right now. So once you cross the street, we'll get a better idea of just what's going on right now. And what also makes it worse is there's no button to push for pedestrians. It's very overwhelming. So partially, I would say you can blame the Long Island Expressway for why all this traffic is here right now. I would partially blame that. So, let's see. Well, wants to make a left? Okay, yeah, we have to go. We don't know if anybody's turning right. So here comes the traffic piling up right now in the clear view. Now, earlier when we observed this, it was fine. But now, take a look at this. It is a pileup right now. It is just a massive pileup right now. I'm going to zoom in and get you a better idea of it. I don't know what's going on with the autofocus. I can't really see there we go. That's the problem. The autofocus is not cooperating. There we go. So again, you see here, here's all the traffic. It's piling up, heading towards the Long Island Expressway right now. And I know this very well. My dad knows this very well. And you have to be street smart in Queens to know this for a fact. Is that every time the Long Island Expressway ramp heading eastbound, exit 4E, always has heavy congestion. Now on the northbound side, it never happens. But southbound, that's a whole different ball game right there. And again, I have to speak up because again, it's so loud here because all this traffic is interfering with the microphone on my phone. And look at this right now. We got a problem. So what's going on here is that you're supposed to have 2 left turn lanes. And what makes the whole situation worse is that drivers don't want to use that lane. And here's the problem. This guy was going too fast making a turn. He can't do that. When you make a turn, you're supposed to go slow. And again, that's what happens when you have careless drivers in this area. Especially how, again, it's always worse than Francis Lewis. And now look at this. Eastbound is now piling up because this is the alternative Long Island Expressway traffic. And I bet this traffic's coming from Waze. So again, I'm assuming people are using Waze to beat the traffic on the Long Island Expressway right now. So that's why we saw the Clearview just now piled up with all those cars. Which, as I said, I've lived in Queens 24 years out of all my life. I can tell you, I've never seen the Clearview Expressway this bad. I thought the light was red. I thought the light was green, excuse me. Do apologize. Fool's gold, folks. The Clearview has a name for its reasons. It's supposed to be a clear view, not a traffic view. So I'm gonna let the car go first, because this lady's probably impatient. But again, you don't want to get into confrontations with people in this area. I've heard that pedestrians complain to the drivers about, oh, I should go first. Well, no, trust me, folks. This is the most impatient part of the whole city of New York, in my opinion. Lately, it's becoming like that, I think. Queens people, we can get very impatient. I know that lady is probably in a hurry. I had to let her go. So, I'm walking back right now to Francis to catch my ride. But, again, this video gives you an idea of why a case study was definitely needed here. And to summarize everything, all I'm going to say right now is this area definitely, traffic-wise, is a disaster. So I'm going to try to see if I can make this light. Yep, I definitely have the light. So, just made it. Just made it. And I said, I've never been to Jamaica at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Maybe a couple times. And I've seen Jamaica and Archer get bad. But for all the lanes of traffic we have in this area, there should be no excuses. It really shouldn't be for everything that just gets piled up around here. Especially with all the traffic that just seems to get worse and worse. And again, I really hope MTA Prodigy will come out to this area, because I'll tell you right now, on the weekend, it's very different. Very different on a weekend. I've gone to the North Shore Diner with my parents, especially with my dad on weekends, and let me tell you, this is different on a Saturday night. Way different. So, I'm going to wrap it all up. Thank you all for watching. As I said, maybe you're in this area regularly. Maybe you can make a video about traffic, because again, I would love for more people to get involved in the cause of just how important this is for our quality of life. Now again, I could talk about trash and graffiti, which I've done in previous videos, but remember, we only have one Queens, and we have to speak up to save it. So until the next one, please take care.